Damn man. Damn man.
child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad. Let her ties in the hearse. I've been on the vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I'm never so packed for the stack, never lied on the rap. Got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, do that ass survive, doing 80 to the house. Then I hit into the sky, change haters on a tirade. Talking to their crib in the face, be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe. I wanna live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Trail spill from my lips, feel bent from the bib. Take a sip till I pass out. I'm trying to get grit, but it don't make sense. Cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, pin myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we knowing that it's capped. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. I'm burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
Truth in the glass in the mirror. Yeah. Do it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see the ass, and he cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I'll be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the ad, but it's all fun. We done seen it all, heard enough, give me space before I murder y'all. 10 bad bitches here, I'ma curve them all. 12 missed calls, and I still made a curtain call. Here to light it up, lighten up. Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. Going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young niggas in the reckless, gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace, bitch.
Go. CPI, let's go. What up, Juice? Welcome back. LTA, baby. Beautiful, fam. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Put us some hip hop. Welcome to the streams. It's 15 minutes before the most important event of the week. It's the CPI. Tomorrow we have the PPI. Today is going to be important. Today is going to be very, very important for the dollar, for ourselves, for gold, and everything built around that. All right. Fantastic that you're here on the stream. Make sure you smash with the like button. Everything is crushing it as always. Discord has been doing very well. The community has been doing very well. You guys have been doing very well. Everyone is happy. It's summer. At least in Europe, it's summer. In the United States, it's summer. Let's get the party started. All right. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much. Yeah, yesterday, World Cup. I get it. I get it. Oh, World Cup, sorry, Euro 2024. We got kicked out. We got destroyed. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's move on to trading. And let's focus on what we can control. At least a little bit better. A little bit more than football. All right. Let's see who we have with us today as always. We have around 12 minutes left. So we have to hurry up a little bit. But are we going to take a news trade? I am going to take a news trade. I always have, you know my strategy. You know my strategy for news, at least. I have a strategy for news, indeed. We usually tend to use our similar strategies for the same old news trade. All right, making sure that we at least do something before the news, if it makes sense. Unless we're in all-time high territory, I'm not going to take news trades, but this is still potential, something that I'm interested in. Okay. So anyways, let's see what we have with us today. And yeah, make sure you smash the like button. All right, let's get the party started. Everyone was already active in our group, in our trading floor. People are chilling. I think people are ready to wait in anticipation for the CPI as well. Let's see what they have here. I see that these guys have a sell stop and a buy stop, if I'm correct. Yeah. I'm going to do a little bit different though. Okay. Let's see what we have. Oh man, Ver, my man, good to see you. I see Mondo, my G. Prince Jr. What's happening, Prince Jr., my friend? What's going on with you? How are you doing, Mario? I see Elena. I see Rafal. I see Grant. Grant the man. Okay. Neboisha and Igor. Jolene. Yeah, they're all here, man. Anticipation for the CPI is always crazy. You know how the CPI is, right? People are hyped. Are hyped. So, you know, it's either the best day of your life or it's going to be the worst day of your life. It's up to you to decide which one it's going to be. or if you're just gonna chill and wait on the sidelines and just be patient and anticipate on what the market will give you later on. I think this is also not really a stupid idea either. Okay. In my case, though, I have something in my mind. As always, usually when we're trending upwards, especially in this case towards the opening price of the week. So for that particular reason, let's go over it, man. And yeah, let's talk about it real quick, because this is kind of an important day. Of course, the serious stuff will come after the news, right? So again, if you are a new trader, even if you are a professional trader, whatever the case may be here, especially if you're a new trader though, just don't trade the news. Don't trade it. Don't go randomly into a buy or sell and just wait and hope for the best. Okay. I do not personally recommend it though. So just so you know, you can always wait for the news to come on, and usually there are a lot of good opportunities after the news as well. Okay. But there are some things that I want to see happening potentially. And that is us setting in the top wick of the week. The weekly candle in particular here. All right. So let's go over our quick overview. All right, we saw gold. Asia, we saw being sorry, this is wrong. This is bearish. All right, we saw price coming down here. The dollar has been moving, trending down here overall. Daily looking a little bit better. It's not too strong though. I would say neutral bullish, and then the weekly is looking better. All right, the weekly is definitely looking better. So yeah, I would not be surprised if we see price pushing up a little bit, during the CPI. I would not be surprised if you do so, and I'll tell you exactly what my personal reason is why I think might potentially go up. If we come down, let's say, then what could be the reason for price to move up first? So anyways, current price level is around 23.80. All right, at the time when I was writing it was 28.83. All right, it's pretty interesting though, the fact that we're trending back towards the opening price of the week, right? The opening price of the week is right here. This is the opening level at 23.89. All right, we're trending back towards the Sunday open. All right, we set in the low on a Tuesday. We set in, the current high here on yesterday. So we set it at yesterday around, I think it was New York, right? New York open. We set in the high. We came down a little bit after New York open, by the way. So New York Stock Exchange open. We set in the high, we came down, we came back up again, and we're now kind of following this initial trend, or whatever the case may be on the lower time frame, right? It's kind of what we're doing here right now. We're holding above it, and price doesn't really want to go down here whatsoever. It's holding back. Dollar currently, it's starting to push up a little bit at this particular moment, so that's interesting. Gold is not reacting to it, so this is also something that you have to take in consideration. Gold is not reacting to the dollar pushing up right now at this particular moment, right? If you go to the dollar itself, you can see the dollar is slightly moving up, while on the lower time frame it's much more aggressive. But gold is not really responsive for now. All right, I think we need to wait for the news to come first. So anyways, we're holding above it. The opening price of the week is at 23.89. Now I want to take this to the higher time frame on gold, okay? Because if you look at this weekly candle, then indeed in this case you would say, oh, this is looking very strong. We're just gonna continue to drive up. We're gonna just flip bullish, and we're just gonna continue to drive further. But also the Sunday open could have some serious resistance as well. So what if we manage to take out the Sunday open first? We go up right here. We set in a top wick. All right, we set in the top wick of the week, and we come down back again, and at least back towards the 23.72. All right, the whole week of trading, this is where we have been utilizing the most volume, 23.72. Previous daily low is at 23.63. So what I was thinking about is potentially setting a sell limit at 23.89, putting my stops at around 23.96, and the reason why is because of this particular zone. This is where you have that next level layer of resistance right there. You see that? These two layers of resistance right there. If you want to zoom in a little bit, you can see what I mean. All right, these are like the two levels where I am looking at, okay? That's kind of your strong areas of resistance. We were unable to break through that. And that means that I want to put my stop loss slightly above that, okay? So it's kind of like your first layer and your second layer. So that means you have the Sunday open as your first layer, okay? You have the 23.96 or 95 as your second layer of resistance right there, and your stop is above that. to target the lows. And you might think, yeah, that's a big stop loss. Well, yeah, for sure, because it's kind of like a news trade setup. Okay, so yeah, the risk to reward is what matters though, right? This is still like a 1 to 2 for me personally, and I like that. I like to look at least a positive risk to reward where I shoot up first. I'm not going in the market. I wait for the market to tap into it, maybe swipe through it to create a top wick, to maybe even take out the previous session that we set on a Monday, so the Asian highs on a Monday, and then we reverse down. We come back to the current weekly POC of the current week, the area where the most volume is traded, which then should result into like 150 pip dump or so. Okay, at the same time, dollar is now at a critical level of support, and so is the yield. And the yield is actually much more interesting to me than the dollar. All right, the yield is actually something I'm focusing on much more than the dollar by itself here, because you had this consolidation, you had that expansion, you had that retracement, you have the smaller level of consolidation, and if the 10-year yield shoots up, the gold will come down. Gold will come down if that's the case here. So that's why I'm interested in, you know, hopefully seeing the yield pushing down and then flipping bullish, consolidation, manipulation, and an expansion to the upside, for gold to do the opposite. So for gold to go up and then tap into the Sunday open, create a top wick of the week, and then come down. I'm thinking, if we're gonna go short, and if I'm looking for a short play towards the downside here, why would gold not set in a top wick first, potentially on the weekly time frame, right? The weekly candle. If it hasn't one yet, or at least on FX it doesn't. So therefore, you know, I take these things on the higher time frame pretty serious. You know, you come up all the way from the lows here. This is around a 300 pip move to the upside. You know, why not setting a top wick to potentially come down again to take out the highs there, right? Could be something interesting to look at. So news is in 4 minutes. So this is what I'm gonna do, fam. You guys know it. And like I said, if you're a beginner trader, I do not recommend you to trade it and just simply wait for, you know, the news to come along, unless you're willing to lose, or you're able to lose, or you know exactly what you're willing to do. And if you have a small count, you know, don't go full margin on a news trade. So only if you can do it, if you're able to afford to. But also, you know, follow your own analysis as well here. And then after the news, back to the old trading game. All right. I think this is what I'm personally looking for. So yes, something in that matter. All right, 23,989 is where I'm gonna place an entry, and then I'm gonna look at the 23.97 as my stop. Why? Because there is 2 levels of resistance in between. You have the Sunday open and you have that horizontal level. These 2 levels is where my stop will be above, and then I target the lows, or at least the 23.72, something in that matter. Okay, so 10-year yield should be, I really want to see the yield pushing up here, especially if you do this consolidation, expansion, retracement, and that continuation. Swiping down is fine as long as you push up eventually. And in regards to the data itself, yes, they do expect lower than the previous month, but that does not mean by definition that it's gonna be actually lower. Okay, then the forecast, and the forecast is usually what we're looking for. So the forecast is 3.1. And it's 3.2%, it's still higher than the forecast. So, because it can be better than the previous month, but it can be worse than the expectation. This is the only thing that I'm looking for. Last thing, before we go into the news, is always if price reverses and it comes down first, I immediately cancel my trade. Okay, so there is like a 40% chance that my trade will be hit, my limit order will be triggered, and if that's the case, then we'll see if this trade plays out. And if it doesn't, we close it and we wait for the trade, for the news to anticipate, and then if you can look for the anticipation. All right. Know what to do for yourself, and just don't trade news as a beginner. I cannot repeat it enough. There we go. Lorenzo, wear glasses? Oh man, shit, that's a good point. That's a very good point. I don't know. I don't know where they are. Unfortunately, bro. Unfortunately. Okay. Let's see what happens, G's. Press a 1 in the chat if you're ready for some action. Just a 1. Just a 1. In around 5 seconds from now. So let's go. Where's the big move? Uh-oh. We're stuck. We're stuck. We're stuck. We're in. And we're out. Almost out. Is this gonna be our first losing news trade? I think so. I think so. I think so. Man at resistance, G's. Yeah. We're gonna be out. We're gonna be out. Yo, that's crazy. We call this the Vantage play. We call this the Vantage play. Yo, what? That is that resistance, G's. That is that resistance. I'm gonna place it above these eyes there. Okay, we're out. Okay. GG, first news trade. First news trade loss of the year. It had to come. It had to come at some point. Damn, that was big. That was big. Okay, it was worth a try. Sell limit was worth a try. We smashed through all the levels right here. We smashed through all the levels. Okay? This is what happens when you trade news sometimes. It's gonna happen. Let's look at the data though itself. 3%. Okay, it came out lower than expected. That's actually super good. 3% is actually good. Because this is gonna rip the market once again. This is gonna absolutely rip the market. If you look here at my charts, my other charts here, let me see if I can find it. It's ripping everything I'm looking at right now at this particular moment. So let's see. Everything is ripping, G's. Everything is... Holy shit. That's crazy. Japanese yen, absolutely exploding again. Japanese yen will probably be the first one to recover back, to come back down. Everything is ripping. Everything is ripping. This is actually very good for the economy. Okay. Let's get back. Let's get back. Let's see what we have here. Let's zoom out a little bit. But this is strong. This is very strong. So we actually just simply held this trend. We never broke this trend. We just held the trend. We just kept going without breaking it. We smashed through the opening price of the week. Top wick now is set. The weekly candle has officially flipped here. New Zealand dollar is on a major recovery. New Zealand dollar was getting wrecked. Dollar yen absolutely destroyed. Gold going up. I want to see the stock market as well. This might be the most important. This might be the most important one for our understanding. And I want to see Bitcoin. Yeah, major move for the Nasdaq. And then for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin doesn't move, I don't know what will. All right, there we go. Bitcoin started to move as well, right into that resistance right now. It's going to be tough for Bitcoin, by the way. All right, it's going to be very hard for Bitcoin. But let's see what happens. I would not be surprised if Bitcoin just flips and starts turning around here. That would be something really, really interesting. But again, Bitcoin is at the major resistance now at 59.4K. So major resistance for Bitcoin right now. If I want something to rip, it's Bitcoin. All right, it's Bitcoin. Okay, so back to work, back to normal. We knew the risks. We knew the risks that we were putting ourselves into right here. The first time we actually lost our news trade right now, at this particular moment this year. All right. From all the trades that we have been triggered into. So, I mean, to be really honest, we're probably around even now. Based upon all the news. So yeah, you can see that the news is an easy thing to take consideration. All right, we broke through it. Next thing is just to wait for the closure. Do we close above the opening price of the week or do we close below it? That's practically the only thing I'm waiting for. And then let the price cool down and we look, at the market again. Normal. All right, so let's go down to the dollar as well. What's the next level for the dollar? Dollar tapped into this next level. All right, dollar tapped into the 103.6 at this particular moment. So the fact that the dollar pushed into that is interesting because we're reacting very heavily from that reaction. It's actually kind of aggressive, but gold doesn't really care. Gold doesn't care. Why? Because the yield is just too weak. Yield is too weak. Next level for the yield is sitting at the same level. Same level. So yield is also at that same level now. We reached that zone. Are you going to look for counter trend trades? Not really. No. I would definitely be patient and wait for price to continue to drive up first. Maybe at some point you're going to make somewhat of a shorter retracement. I think so. But this is not the moment to look for it right now at the moment. Let's be a little bit patient. Let's try to come up towards 2400 and 12. We're currently sitting at 2400 already. And let's see how we close around the Sunday open. And where we close actually. So sellers, including myself, got absolutely destroyed during news. So now it's time to wait and sit out the closure and see if you can close above the opening price. Lorenzo, look at the early previous weekly POC. Yeah, this one right here. Is this where we're tapping into? Yeah, it's the same level. 24.16. So if price continues to drive up, then this is where you want to get into. You want to get into the 2412. Can price reverse here potentially? It could. I mean, thing is, if I would be entering a short now, then Yeah, just from the 2400 resistance, let's say, on the weekly time frame. Or on, sorry, the daily time frame. Then what I need to see is the 50-minute closure. Dude, if you looked at the Euro CPI earlier, it's low, so in USA will be low as well, and low CPI means up for gold. Okay, track this back 12 months and show me what you have. It's not the case. I can guarantee you that. Hello, Answer, please check ETC USDT. Let's look at gold first. Let's wait for gold to close here before we continue to drive further. All right? What we want is Bitcoin. We want Bitcoin to come up. At least that's what we want. We want to see Bitcoin pushing. If price goes up, let Bitcoin just go straight to the moon here. And not come down right away. But I doubt it, to be honest. I doubt it. I think that Bitcoin will start retracing at some point. There we go. We already kind of see it. Having a very hard time. Very hard time here. This is where a lot of shorters are going to enter Bitcoin. Bitcoin short right there. Why do you choose not to scalp buy gold right now? Stop loss placement. Stop loss placement. Even on this trade, I still had in my idea at least somewhat of a stop loss placement, and even during crazy news as well. So even when we get stopped out, at least I know, okay, for my cost, this stop loss was strategically placed, and if that gets hit, that's a complete invalidation. When I scalp, I'm like, okay, where I'm gonna put my stop under the previous candle, or I'm gonna scalp 10 pips. I don't know. Stop loss of 10 pips fixed. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of that. What's the best thing you can do after this? I mean, wait for the closure now. Wait for this closure on the 30-minute. Or the 1 hour closure, which is also a 4 hour closure on a Wanda. And sit it out, man. You're heading towards the highs now. Okay? And let's sit this one out here. At some point, we might be slowing down a little bit. Let's see. Look at GJ. Yeah, so the yen basket will benefit massively from this. Massively from this one right here. Okay? If you look at the Japanese yen right now, it's like it's probably the craziest candle I've ever seen. It actually is the craziest candle I've ever seen. It is the craziest candle I've ever seen. Like, what the fuck? What? It had to come at some point. I mean, it's the yen. It had to come at some point. It had to come at some point. Okay, but yeah, anyways, you can have these big pumps. It's nothing new. It's just crazy. I know. But what, you know, this doesn't mean that we're going to change the momentum here. You push up, you come back down. You push up, you come back down. You push up, you might come back down. So it's still not everything, but it's still a crazy candle, especially if the dollar decides to drop here. Okay? Then you're going to see the dollar yen. You're going to see the British pound against the yen potentially getting absolutely destroyed. I'm not sure which one is actually worse. Which currency was actually performing the weakest? Let me see that real quick. I think the weakest currency was... Yeah, I think it's just the dollar yen. The dollar yen will be absolutely destroyed then. Man! Oh shit. Add support though. Add support. Add support. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is crazy. I don't know how big this was. This was a move of 300 pips, and that's a lot on the dollar yen. 300 pips on the dollar yen. It's in what, a 30-minute candle? That is crazy. That is absolutely insane. There we go. 5 minute. Yeah, okay. There we go. Crazy stuff. Okay, back to gold. Let's see where we are. Lorenzo, how do you deal with the news loss? I mean, man, bro, it's number one, it's news. Okay, so I separate news completely from regular trading, completely. So I have my regular trading spreadsheet, and then I have my news. And then I just count out all the news plays that I've taken this year. And I just calculate, okay, where am I standing, right? It's kind of like a side bet, right? You have your main bet and you have your side bet. If you win some, you lose some, you are on like even, on average, whatever the case may be. And it's fun for the streams. That's all it is. So yeah, it's even better when you win. And that happened, and that will come again. But it's also, you know, you're gonna take the good with the bad. And that's new. So you cannot really prepare for it. It's just, you know what's coming, and you know it's a side bet, and you know just that you have to just accept it. And you have to just do your best to, you know, look at the best criteria. And that's all it is. But now, we're back to reality. And that means that we have to just start going back into our levels, markets, entry models, and everything in that manner. When do you think it's good to enter a sell on gold? I don't think it's good yet at all to enter a sell on gold. We need to let gold rest and see where, you know, which critical levels are interesting. And I see two levels at 2412.69 and 2416, which are the highs of that previous range. Right there. And yeah, play that game. See what we can do there, right? Even though gold is bullish, this is a what? A 300 pip move. All right, one-way street. So you know, let's just see how we go for. What happens when you tap into these highs? How do you respond there? Is there a chance of a quick scalp to the downside? Is there a way where we can risk again the same thing as we did with news, with a smaller stop loss when we get the confirmation? To see if it's possible to look for at least a little bit of a retracement. We don't have to trade it all the way down, But if this is the case, then these are the levels to look for me personally, to see if it can bounce from. With really solid confirmations though. So that means, you know, 3 candles, entry model 1 type of thing, or small consolidation on the lower time frame by a manipulation by an expansion, something like that. So an EM1 or an EM3. Man, that's crazy. I actually hope that Bitcoin will break above. But yeah, we'll see about that. All right. Any Bitcoin traders here? Any Bitcoin investors here? Let me know. We have a little Bitcoin crew as well here in our community. So that's why I'm asking. Lorenzo, we're long-term bullish on gold. Yeah, long-term, yes. Specifically, was waiting for price to stay in the range, to continue the range here, until on 31st of July, the end of the month, the supply and demand data comes out, to expect a massive move from there. So if we already go now, and leave the range from the CPI data, I'll be very surprised. I'll be very surprised. So I have more in my mind that we could just create that momentum play here, where we just start to pull back, wait, consolidate, stay in the range, 31st of July. So around there, 5 a.m. From that moment, we start driving and leaving the range, either up or down, expect it actually to come up. So yeah, anything until then, I think we're gonna stay in the range. That was my plan here. So you know, when the data comes out on 31st of July, I'm going to be very interested in looking to see where we are. If we are lower and trading lower, yeah, then I'm still looking for buys. It depends on the data. It depends on the data that comes out. Hello, I'm currently invested in ETH and Link. Can you give me an outlook on them too? I mean, the first thing that needs to happen is that Bitcoin needs to start pushing now, right? It's Bitcoin and that's it. There is nothing else that needs to go besides that, all right? The Bitcoin dominance is holding up still very well. It's holding up on a weekly basis. We have that weekly trend. So as long as we're still holding up here, you know, I don't see a reason for us to be thinking about altcoin setups and stuff if you're invested in them, because it might take a while. The moment it starts breaking, okay, that's when you have to start paying attention. For now, I think Bitcoin needs to break support, but again, Bitcoin has a hard time, very hard time right now, because we're at monthly resistance. So what is the best thing to do? The best thing for me to do is I'm waiting for price to get into critical levels and just wait for a response, and that's it. So nothing like in the middle of nowhere waiting, trying to catch my trade. Wait for price to tap into one of our zones, and the first thing that I can see is around 45 pips away, which is the 2412. Yeah. Cowboy, good to see you, man. How's it going, my friend? Great to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going well at the back, in the back end. Yeah. Lorenzo, you and Raja Banks are the only ones that trade news. Yeah, I think that I think that he looks the same at it as well in that manner. He just has a different strategy, I believe. Buy stops and sell stops. Correct? I'm not sure. I think it's usually buy stops and sell stops. Anyways, when you were trading with Black Bull, did the chart used to freeze for a few minutes and then unfreeze with massive gaps? Yeah, that's why I stopped trading with them. They're a good broker though. Like, I can't complain. They're a good broker. But, you know, they're just, I don't know, personal preference. What are the spreads on Vantage for gold? I'm not 100% sure because I never really worry about spreads too much. Because of the fact that I have a ECN account, a raw ECN account, or a swap-free even ECN account, depending on what account I use. I have 3 different accounts. I think some of you guys saw it when I logged into the broker. 3 different accounts. The standard accounts have higher spread, but you know, you don't pay any commissions here. So if you have less than $1,000 on your account, I would not suggest to take an ECN account, or $3,000, let's say, right? To cover the commissions, to cover the fees. If you do have more than that, then it's better to just pay a commission instead of going for the spread. Depending on your lot size, of course. Lorenzo, is there such thing as a bad strategy? I would say so. A bad strategy. Yeah. Let me tell you what the bad strategy is. Right? You are the bad strategy. All right, it's you. You control them. You control your executions. You control your risk management. You control the timing, you control your greed, you control your fear, you control your overall psychology. It's you that control the market. So regardless of the strategy, all right, everyone has personal preferences. I like to work with volume profiles. I know it works for me. I have been doing it over and over again, consistently this way. But I know that if I was not ready, I was not mentally there, or if I was too greedy, or if I was too fearful in some scenarios, or if I just had a lack of experience in the markets, that I would get destroyed, regardless of the strategy I will be using. So you are the strategy, my friend. You are the strategy. Loki says, Rabobank casually lost 15 grand. Hey, welcome to the club. Shout out to Rabobanks. Welcome to the club. Do you still take trades today that you regret even after these years of experience? Sometimes. Occasionally. Occasionally. I still have my moments where I'm like, ah, man. But, you know, the beautiful thing about that is experience. And it is knowing how to reset yourself. And knowing when to step away as well. I had it one time on stream. I said, you know what? Today's not my day. I'm not sure if you guys remember it. But I said, you know what? Today's not my day, guys. Sorry. I'm going to leave the stream. It's just not my day. And I could feel it coming. And because I felt it coming, I was like, you know what? I've been here before. I remember what happened that time. And the time before. And the time before that. So it's probably not going to be wise for me to trade now on stream. So I'm not going to take it. So sometimes, yes. And I still do it. So sometimes, absolutely. And I think we're all human and we have to accept that we're all human. We're not perfect whatsoever. And that acceptance of not trying to do everything perfect is the key to success. Because this is the problem with traders. They want to have everything perfect. And if they cannot get it perfect, they get annoyed, they get frustrated, and then they give up. And that's just not the reality. That's not the reality. We're trying to control something we can't control. In total, all right? So we have to work with these probabilities. Which broker usually I'm getting a new one. Agnes is killing me. I use Vantage, my friend. But it doesn't matter what broker you use. If you have news potential, okay, sometimes, you know, when there are a lot of orders executed in the market, when the slippage is higher, due to the volume that comes in, and the processing of the volume and all the data that goes through that, you know, a lot of big brokers even, and sometimes it's even the bigger brokers that have more difficulties with it, they're going to be unstable during news. So sometimes just accept it and be careful when trading news, regardless of what broker you use. There is not a perfect broker when it comes down to news, out of my personal experience. Lorenzo, I just feel a little bit angry. I longed gold a few hours before the CPI. When the data comes, it just hit my stop loss and then flies. You know what's even worse, bro, than getting stopped out and continuing to the upside? Closing your position too early because you're fearful or you're unsure about your trade. And then it still goes up. Then it still goes to the moon. You put a stop loss there for a reason. The reason why you put a stop loss there was because if that was triggered, that was your invalidation point. So if you got invalidated, then for you, that means that's exactly what you wanted to see. If price get there, you're invalidated and that's it. So that's why you put a stop loss there. Otherwise, your stop loss is at the wrong location, right? But what's even worse is not closing your position, or closing your position because you're unsure. You see price coming back to your entry. You know, you're tricking, you're still in profit, but you're like, you close it and boom. I've been there before as well. Okay? Time, G. Time. Time. So what are you waiting for, Lorenzo? Waiting for these key levels, fam. Anything in between here, this is just all, you know, kind of random. We're in a gap also, right? On the 1 hour, we're in a gap. We potentially have this 2400 support now, right here, but this is also not by definition the case. We're in the middle of this gap. Let price come towards the highs. Let's see what happens when we come up a bit more. Lorenzo, what's the reason you are using FX and not the Wanda? Good question. No difference, man. No reason. No specific reason. I have a Wanda here. I have FX here. Yeah, let's look at the dollar because this is kind of interesting. What the dollar is doing and where we are right here on a daily. Yeah, we're at support now. All right, we're at that support. Sitting right there. Not looking good though, but anyways, it's at support. Okay. So on the 1 hour, it's going to be important. It's going to be interesting to see how we go from here. Yes, sir. All right. Lorenzo, you should sell your watch for the next news trade. That's a good one, my friend. Crazy guy. ICT, Lorraine Lorenzo, ICT says the market is an algorithm. Do you agree with that? So what I think about algorithms is that you have algorithms, right? There is that one mother algorithm, right? This is that's the idea. But in reality, there are algorithms built to fight algorithms. And then you have algorithms to fight algorithms that fight algorithms. And then you have algorithms that fight algorithms that fight these algorithms to fight these algorithms to fight these algorithms. And I can keep going. It's a simulation, all right? We're living in a simulation anyways. So it's all about, you know, algorithms after algorithms. So when it comes down to quantitative analysis for market makers, whatever the case may be, from arbitrage trading, from mean reversions in the market or whatever, right? Based upon the historical average or based upon, you know, the volume weight average price, the VWAP. There are so many different algorithms built that it's very hard to save Aladdin, right? The mother algorithm, they say it, from BlackRock or whatever the case may be, is that one algorithm that controls the whole market. So the question is not, is there one algorithm? The question should be, how many algorithms are controlling the market, are controlling price? I think that's kind of the way to do it. Because, you know, it's endless. It's endless. If you extend your fixed range by a few candles, we're ready to fix very low. Okay, let's extend this. Yes, sir. Rafal, my friend. So what I personally like to do is I like to wait for... I try to ignore the drop-off points. So I just specifically want to know what's happening in the range itself. So when it comes down towards the highs and lows, sorry, the left and right, I kind of utilize the first red candle that you see here, and then this final candle before that major drop off, because the moment I include this drop off candle, the accuracy of this zone might be affected. So therefore I'm trying to avoid it. Now we might be in it, but I'd rather wait for price to get actually towards these two zones. And the beautiful thing about that is that you have your tunnel as well, your tunnel play as well here. So I would not be surprised if he still push up here. I would not be surprised though. Yeah. I mean, if we were thinking about counter trend, then I think the highs there, the top range high after that massive expansion is, I think, the best place to look for shorts from for the short term. Lorenzo, are you better in currencies or in gold? It's a very good question. I really like currencies. And I'll tell you why. I like currencies a lot because I trade a lot with the correlations. I utilize correlations a lot in the market. So I'm trying to understand every asset. So if I want to trade, let's say, the whatever, Euro USD, I want to understand everything that's happening. So I look at the dollar index. Dollar index shows me, then I look at the Australian dollar US dollar. I look at the Euro USD. I look at GU. I look at NU. I look at all these currency pairs. Then I wait for the dollar to make a big move. Then I look and see how each individual pair related to the dollar behaves. And if there is one weaker than the other, I'm asking myself the question, why is that? So let's say the euro is weaker than the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar, right? When the dollar goes down, I'm asking myself, why is the Euro USD coming up less than the New Zealand dollar US dollar? And then I'm trying to analyze that. I'm trying to understand that. Then I check out the Euro NZD. And I'm going to see, hey, if the Euro is that much weaker than the New Zealand dollar, if the dollar moves big, right? I'm actually starting to look interesting now at these particular levels from the Euro USD NZD standpoint. So then I wait for the dollar to make a big move. Once the dollar breaks up or down, I favor the New Zealand dollar and I potentially take a trade on the Euro New Zealand dollar eventually. So I start out with all these main pairs and potentially trade sub pairs based upon the behavior of the main pairs, the main currencies. Anyways, then I use volume, then I use entry models, then I execute. So I prefer currencies for sure. Currencies are great for confirmations. Gold, however, has its moments where it's just the best to trade. And that's not always, right? It's usually when the market is trending. And indices, of course, as well. And indices. Can a possible retrace? Can the market retrace now? I mean, yeah. In theory, it could. Look at where the dollar, what the dollar is doing here. You see the dollar? Dollar is holding that support. I do like this, by the way. This is an hourly closure. This next hourly candle is holding. This is daily support. We're at a daily level. So yeah, I'm liking what the dollar is doing. Now gold is indeed starting to slow down here. But this is what I meant with the consolidation, right? So you have that consolidation. If we now start to push up, we'll definitely look for shorts here to take out the lows. So we'll have to wait and see if this is the actual bottom, the top right now in the short term, or if this is a short-term pullback for price to just continue to drive up one more time. We'll see. But yeah, sells is definitely what I'm looking for if this is the case. Unless you want to put your stop there. You know what I mean? It's big. It's big. It won't fall any lower than 103.6 because it will activate the recession at that point. Yeah, well, if we break the lows, then well, actually, will not cause a recession. Well, maybe for the dollar, but not for the economy, because everything else will benefit from that. But yeah, man, we're holding tight here. I mean, this is not looking that fantastic. You know, like. Definitely look at more further downside, but this is looking like we're holding support, local support for this session. Well, we'll see. We'll see. What would I do? This. Should we consider to swing trade GJ? What do you think? What were you thinking about, my friend? Long or short? I want to hear this from you first. Short? No. No. No, I don't. No. So look at the past. Just look at the past and see what happened. This is a great example, right? News come out. I think this is a news play. I'm not 100% certain, but this might be a news play. You came down aggressively. You push back up. You still come down to manipulate the lows, right? Because these early buyers getting stopped out here. These guys, they think they got the bottom, and then price still comes down, and then it goes like nothing has happened, right? We've seen that here on a smaller scale as well. Price shoots down. I mean, smaller scale. This is still 300 pips. Price comes down, holds a bit, up, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. This is massive. I agree with you, 400 pips. Same thing for this one. 250 pips. And every single time, we decide to come up. So the idea will be, let price retrace, let price create a new low, and then start looking around your key levels, your entries, your previous daily levels, your previous daily ranges, to see what you can do. And if price does this, then I will be starting to think, hey, we might have something. We might have something. And then I might be interested in looking for short setups from there. If that makes sense. You see what I mean? You see the difference? Based upon what we have seen previously? Something like that. So I would be looking there. Yeah. Hey Lawrence, quick question. I was looking at the Swiss franc against the yen, and I drew a previous daily range profile. The PoC changed massively when going from the 30 to the 15. I know it can fluctuate a bit, but this was a big move. Please share with me a screenshot in our group. Tag me in Discord, and I'll look at it for you. But yeah, this can happen sometimes on the lower time frames especially. Okay, we're doing it. At least for now, we're pushing up a bit. Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Brandon. I'll get back to you, man. I'm also curious. See what you mean here.
Deterioration in the labor market to get the Fed to really have some conviction behind that call. That's not consensus. Markets right now are pricing in more than a 70% chance of a September rate cut. And a lot of people
70% chance of a September rate cut. Yeah, that's huge.
Powell during the 2 days of testimony.
That's much higher than before. So we're getting somewhere. All right, gold's pushing a bit. Let's see if we can get there. Okay, we reached our first level for 2412.69. There we go. Right on the spot. "30-minute closure is in 5 minutes. Pips against this 5-pip move. Yeah, I like it. If you get any solid confirmation there, fam, then yeah, 5-minute time frame. Keeping close on the lower time frame, especially today. What are those fixed VaL and fixed PoC levels? Yes, so what we utilize is LTA concepts. It's built around volume. So instead of using horizontal support and resistance levels only, you utilize these levels based around volume. So you don't have to pick and choose them. On the higher time frame, you can still utilize horizontal levels. We do it on the daily for the dollar, for example, or for the 10-year yield, or for any other instruments. But mainly, we're using volume. Traded in specific ranges or specific days, whatever, specific time zones, right? Sorry, time zones, time sessions specifically. So, you know, based upon that, we use volume as a tool or as an indication. And it said that at 2412, significant amount of more orders were executed. And then you're like, okay, what's happening there? Well, okay, 2412, okay, yeah, sure. Well, in this range itself, this whole swing high point, our first level was, or at least that the tool gave us, is the 2412, right? The 2412.64. That's the fixed very low. My recommendation is to download the ebook. It has all the information for you right there. This is what people do. They take the ebook. They start their backtesting. They have a basic understanding of trading already. They have an understanding of how to utilize and understand the trend or whatever the case may be. They have a basic understanding of candle structures, formations. They have been trading before. They download this ebook and they backtest. They backtest each individual level first, and they just watch to see how price responds around it. That's all they do, right? And then they go to the next step, and that's executions. And that's a summary of what we're doing on the streams. So it's kind of our Bible, right? Our tool of reference. Now, in this case right now, you consolidate, you expand, manipulate in this case into the fixed value low. That's exactly the level that we were talking about right now. So you can see we want the price to come up. We want price to potentially push into that level. Now I'm waiting for this closure. This is the 30-minute closure. And I'm gonna potentially sell in the next candle. Okay, let's see. Let's see if how big this stop is. This is around 2050. This overall trend here. Opening price of the week. So I'm looking at potential entry model 3 fam at page number 52. I make sure that this is inverted. Okay. It's more like this. All right. You consolidate here, manipulate into your level. You start breaking the internal structures. And you start coming down when the dollar is retracing back up. All right. So it's something in that manner. The first target is, of course, the opening price of the week. I do think that at some point we might be coming back towards the opening price to retest the opening price of the week. And then stop will be above the highs specifically. If you want to have a really good confirmation, you can also wait for the 5-minute close. But I'm personally looking more for a move if we start breaking down to take it back, stops there and stop and take profit around the opening price of the week, which is the 23.89, 91, sorry. So you have this move, and then you start breaking and you start potentially selling off for here. A 5-minute closure would be nice if you don't break it and you still come up. So let's say we come up again. You start pushing up here, you start, you know, you're not breaking it. Then I can still look here on the Eternals for a confirmation as well. So yeah, the fact that we're getting bought up here is interesting. But yeah, that could mean like a sell stop below. Because we're pushing up now. So we have seen this one many times. Okay. What's important is that the manipulation needs to happen into a key level. And it has to be a level of interest. So if it's not a level of interest, we don't take it. It cannot just be a random pattern into a random zone and that's it. It has to be, during the manipulation, it has to align with the correlation, which is in this case, the dollar at daily support. Okay. If the dollar is not at daily support in this case, and the dollar would be right here, we would have also not taken it. So there are many other reasons when I would avoid a setup like that. When I would take it is if the dollar is indeed in daily support now, has closed an hourly candle already, has been already creating a double wick on that daily support, and gold is reaching that zone. That's for me worth a potential sell stop below, targeting the highs, targeting the Sunday open. Jonas says chat is really professional. Keep it going. I agree, fam. You guys are doing great. You guys are doing great. Don't end until 30 minutes have created the top wick. This is good. This is good for me personally. Bottom wick on the dollar has been created. We're re-breaking the highs now. We're gonna put your stop. Stop above the highs. Kevin says, I bought gold and I'm holding it. Should I sell it? You should stick to your own analysis, my friend. You should stick to your own analysis, all right? Always. It's the only way you can learn, my man. Otherwise, it doesn't come in. It goes in and goes out. And you go to the next, it's empty. Every trade should be with a purpose. The reason why I take this is because I have my own confirmations, my own trades that I usually take when I see something. In this case, like we said, we wanted to see price pushing up after that consolidation. And we then want to see the lows getting broken. We had an aggressive move to the upside. The Sunday open is a clean, clear target. It aligns with the risk to reward. And the dollar, right, has created a double wick into a daily support level. So it's the combination of this potentially driving to the equilibrium and gold potentially driving lower. Okay, that's for me my personal analysis based on what we have created here. Why do you prefer to play against the structure, the trend? I mean, the trend is indeed bullish, right? We have been pushing up aggressively, but you know, what comes up must come down as well. So I'm not definitely not against counter trend trading only, always. But it also depends. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I am against counter trend trading. So yeah, it's all subjective. It is all subjective. Okay. We're in position. That's a quick 30 pips right there, man. Damn. I'm gonna hold it a bit though, because I want to see how price responds, because it as such, it had a very aggressive expansion up. So I can be very greedy now, but I can also just let it run a little bit and see how we go from there until we reach. There we go, that break. Okay. There we go. All right, TP1, done. Stop loss and break even. Done. And take it towards the lows. Let's see where we can take it. Let's first, of course, very closely look at the Sunday open here. Okay. That's it, simple, right? That's an entry model 3 from the ebook. You guys have seen it before, okay? It happens a lot when you expand, and the main conclusion was the consolidation, the manipulation, the expansion on a 1 minute time frame into your key level, and then the dollar in daily support, creating the double wick confirmation, and then breaking out. So that's your trade there. And then the dollar had kind of your entry model 1 as well, but for gold it was the entry model 3. Okay? And you want to take it towards the opening price of the week. So that's 23.91 or 23.89 on a 1 day. Depends where you're looking at. But your stop should be on break even for sure. And let's look at the lower time frame. Yeah, we have this zone, huh? I was looking at that zone before. I'm not impressed though. Not yet. I keep a close eye on it though. Okay, we might cause a pullback here. I can see it on the lower time frame. All right, so I keep 25% open. And then the rest can come all the way down, and that's it. Then we're good. So press W in the chat, fam. Right? This is exactly what we wanted to see. Exactly what we wanted to see. We consolidated, we manipulated into our key level. We broke structure to the downside. Entry model 3, entry, dollar at support, daily support. Cool? Nice, cheese. So around a 1-to-1. We now have officially closed around 70%. Usually we do around 50%. Okay. But we're holding up here. We might still push down further, but clean. Yeah, it was tricky, right? To get in early. I get the feeling you get, maybe you get the feeling as well. Should I enter a sell already? Should I enter now? Should I enter now? Set your key levels. Wait. what you understand, capitalize on it. Just capitalize on it. All right? Nice recovery, man, from the news. That's better. Is Amir does his microphone cut off? Yeah, so once we reach the 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, okay, I can finally afford to buy a new microphone. So, you know, if you want to help me out and you want your guy to get a better microphone for the streams, you know, then subscribe to this channel, smash that like button, and press a W in the chat, and then I can afford myself a new microphone in the near future. Thank you very much. 0906 5554. 0906 5554. I appreciate it. Lorenzo, I know you're doing this to teach new traders and we appreciate you, but did you feel that people who watch and copy YouTube gurus hurt some traders because they're afraid to trade alone? I mean, everything comes with a... everything has plus and minuses, my friend. All right? So, if your question is, do you feel that people who watch and copy YouTube gurus hurt some traders because they're afraid to trade alone? I think in many cases, yes. Dependency bias is never good. Creating a dependency bias on someone else is never good. That means that you feel that you're not confident to do it by yourself. However, if you set the standard for yourself and say, you know what, regardless of what I'm learning here, it's a test. It's an experimental test for me to see if I can become better. Okay? And that's it. Okay, I'm gonna close the trade, fam. If we close this 5-minute candle like that, so above our TP point, okay? Because you might create a lower low, a lower high, and a lower low. So you're gonna see something like this. So the 5-minute closure is in 1 minute. If you close below it, we can keep it running. $75, yeah. Is that from this this initial candle here? Yeah, just fill the stop towards the towards the highs on the 1 minute. Might get hit instantly right now, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now close the trade, guys. I expect a little bit of a pullback. Look at the 15-minute here. You saw that wick, you see that double wick, it manipulated the lows the previous wick and it's now flipping bullish. So when I see that, I get out. I get out. Yes, it can reflip, but I can better take my full money out and just enjoy. You know what I mean? So there's just a big chance the price will retrace back into our entry, and it's just, you know, yeah, we can hold it and we might pull back down again, but with a double wick confirmation like that, it tends to fill that gap, or it tends to come more back towards these highs here. I'd just rather to get out then. Okay. So I mean, clean trade, geez. Very clean trade, very clear, clean plan. No, not too much speculation, clean patience. Yeah, what can I say? If price gets there, we might still roll over though. There we go. Oh. Potential re-entry possibilities. So yeah, I'll tell you about that in a second. Well, give me one moment. All right. So yes, new exit trade. Well, what I tend to do is I go to the lower time frame, and then I go and use the volume profile from the high to low, and I look at where the most volume has been traded. Okay, it's unfortunately it's right there. If it would have been higher, I would have had a really nice clean level. Now the next one is we still have this overall range, and we broke out of this range. So if you pull back to any of our key levels here, which is this one, and it's sitting at 2403 and 2406. These are two levels I'm paying very close attention to. So it's practically the same thing, but on a smaller time frame. That's it. So yeah, it's practically like that. Just to see how we go from there. Just want to see how price reacts in it. And you know, you can see how beautiful these levels work, fam. Right? We literally topped it again there. 2412 was the top of that level. It tapped into it and it reversed down. And you know, we're talking a serious amount of pips here. 170 pips. All right, we capitalized 75. But that was 175 pips from the top to the bottom. Still should be training or, you know, working with limit orders much more in the future. But yeah, this will come. Lawrence, what's the best indicator for measuring volume? At the fixed range volume profile. Once again, my G, download the ebook if you don't have it yet. Because even our trade was exactly in this ebook. Right there, page 53. It's exactly what we wanted, right? Exactly. So, everything is explained there. Dollar is indeed slowing down, but it's just consolidating. I mean, yeah, that's practically it. Dollar got rejected on the lower time frame. And you can see now how heavily the dollar and gold are correlated. Gold goes down. If dollar goes down, gold goes up. Dollar came down here, got rejected at this low. Gold started to retrace here. So taking profits here was not a bad idea, right? Taking more profits there or closing in full was not a bad idea, especially if you see the dollar getting rejected from this low. So now we're back in the range. Dollar is back in the range on the lower time frame. What needs to happen now? You need to re-break. We need to break it, in my opinion. We need to start either coming back to daily support again. Holding support here. And then potentially drive up again. But right now, gold seems to be holding up very strong. So even this 50-minute candle, it's very strong. So definitely not shorting now. Definitely not shorting from here. Rich says 100 pips a day, keep staying this away. No, that doesn't work that way, my friend. It doesn't work that way. You're as good as your last trade. I love that saying from like a hedge fund guy. You're as good as your last trade. How it works in this game. Yeah, so we broke already the first level here. Why? Dollar is just... well, we might find some support now. But, you know, look how strong the 50-minute is. I don't want to short against that. I definitely don't want to short against this 50-minute candle. So let price develop again. We'll find out. But for now, in this case, you know, we created kind of like a small double bottom. Now we're pushing up. The 50-minute very strong. So hourly candle closure, by the way. So the hourly candle will be closed indecisive. So there's nothing set in stone yet for direction now. Why? Because the hourly candle has just been closing right in the center. We're literally in the middle of a range now, of an expansion. So this hourly candle is big. This next hourly candle needs to develop. And then I think, you know, you might see a new trade develop as well. But that depends on the next one. Usually the bigger the candle, the better it is. So if you manipulate the highs, you tap into that same level and you reflip the lows, then maybe. That would be the only way. Fabian says, shout out to Road to 200k for killing it every day in the trading floor. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. He has been doing fantastic. Incredible. Incredible. Shout out to the team. That's a cigar box. I would, you know, I would say, you know what? This guy got it. This guy got it. Yeah? This guy got it. The one and only Moes, I believe. IG. Let's go CPI. Vacation setup cigar of the day. DH Boutique. Lala Mareva. Mareva. Couldn't say it better. Enjoy, bro. Re-entry? No, no. I would not say now. Because we might even break the highs. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see now. Like, I know it's at the highs. And I know this hourly candle top wick is getting created. So... but dollar is still pushing. The next closing time, the 4 hour will be decided. Yeah, so the next 4 hour is in, sorry. Let me look on the future chart real quick. I think it's aligned, correct? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So on the futures now, we have created also the new 4 hour closure. That's interesting. Okay. We're facing that resistance here on futures, of course, as well. So we're slightly lower. We're trading slightly lower on the futures chart in comparison to gold. It's pretty aligned overall. I want to see how price develops around here because this is critical. Critical. So in essence, everything looks good on gold. I really do like what I'm seeing here in general. Also on futures. If you just look at the 1 hour, it's just not looking strong. It looks like we're heavily, you know, overbought here now. Tapping into that resistance that we see here. Which is pretty obvious on the 4 hour. If you look on the 4 hour, you can see clearly where we're getting rejected from. It's this zone. If you want to be precise, it's right here. So we're getting rejected from that area. We opened without a bottom. So at some point we're going to set in the bottom wick. So the higher we go, the better it's going to be. Why? Because I want to see the dollar coming down as much as possible before it tries to push again. And that's the new 1 hour bottom wick. And that 1 hour bottom wick is what you want to see. And then you want to see the dollar flipping bullish. And you want to see gold pushing up further. Correlation is good today. So yeah, I hope gold pushes through and comes up one more time to that same level where we got rejected from at first, which is the 2412. Dollar setting in a strong bottom wick. All right, let's be patient once again. Let me get a drink, jeez. Oh, my can. All right, one moment. There we go. All right, 1 second. Be right back. Cheers. We need a cup of tea. Let's go. Gold's pushing up. See if you can get to that 24.12 one more time. That would be nice. Something like that. Dollar is indeed trying, but we're losing a little bit of volume. You can tell. We're losing a little bit of volume. We're a little bit slower now. So yeah, let's just take it easy. Take it easy. How many sugars? We don't drink sugar in my country. It's not common. At least sugar with tea. At least I'm not a big fan of it. Tea and sugar. I'm not a big fan of it. Cameron says, still looking at the Sunday Open as a key level. Well, if you look at the 4 hour right now, the 4 hour opened without any bottom wick, so that's nice. We're reaching that critical resistance right here. Okay, we got rejected there once. It's very hard to break for now. Dollar is not really what I like to see. I don't like to see that slow move for the dollar. I don't trust that move. So I would not be surprised if he would roll over again, but it could be. It could be that the dollar should just, you know, just goes from here. If it breaks the highs, I would be much more confirmed here. But again, that would be like the safer play, because if that's the scenario, then you know, gold will probably also come down further. And then the question is our risk to reward then good enough, you know, to look for setups from this breakdown? You know, below the 2406, you break the lows, you tap into the fixed VaL low one more time, the third candle opens up and you start breaking the lows. So you have two candles, two wicks into the 2412, your double wick confirmation, and the third candle then breaking the lows. That might be one more setup potentially if you see this pushing down. And then you give enough, you know, you kind of give it enough time for the dollar then to decide, okay, is this just a fake move? Are we just going to break down? All right, because there's kind of like less volume than before when we took our trade. Whereas if you start breaking above here, all right, above that high, that previous high, you kind of have a much better confirmation from the dollar that we might be pushing further. And that's something that we don't see yet, or we're not sure if that will happen. So if the dollar decides to crash here, gold is going to try to break. And yeah, so I don't see any entries now, or at least not yet for myself, unless, you know, we do come down first, or we do close above the 104 for the dollar, let's say, the 103.993. Something like that. Lorenzo, it's normal to put sugar in your tea. I know, man. I've been to countries, and especially here where I live, man, the amount of sugar they put in their tea, it's insane. It's insane. I'm already pretty high energy, okay? So if you're all over the place for you guys. Not my style, not my style. Abhishek says, please explain how you are going to take a trade in gold. Abhishek, make sure you come on early. I think you watch some other videos later beforehand. You're scrolling around, whatever the case may be. So my suggestion is to be on time, be here stiff, so we can get to work together. We can make something happen together, right? On a serious note. We're trolling sometimes, we're having fun sometimes, but there are also moments where we're very serious. And that's how the stream should be, in my opinion. It should be a combination of both. You agree? Parliament's microphone, okay. Yeah, we might buy a new microphone, yeah, later. I have to deserve it. I have to deserve it. So if we can get to the 100k, we buy you guys a new microphone. We'll become real streamers once we reach the 100,000. Okay? You get that Shure mic that looks good, the professional Shure mic that every streamer has. You know, then we join the club. Okay, dollar is still pushing though. Very slow. Doesn't mean anything yet. Homelander says, Lorenzo, I caught the Nasdaq sells after closure below the fixed range PoC WLTA. That's great, my man. Can I see it? Wow. Same thing for the Nasdaq. Wow. Look at that. Same structure. The difference is that the Nasdaq is absolutely tanking. Yeah, wow. Ah, okay, I see it, man. I think I see it. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know if you see, because it's not the level that I'm looking at least. Maybe you're looking at futures. I think you're looking at future chart. Share it on Discord. Share it in Discord, please. Okay, dollars is going for it. The 1 hour looks better. That 50-minute closure is what I want to see. Which is also the 30-minute closure. Bitcoin is falling, means the dollar is getting strong. Yeah, that's what we talked about. We talked about Bitcoin. And we said that Bitcoin is probably not going to break that resistance. You guys remember? And that's what we're seeing now. Yeah, so yeah, indeed, Bitcoin, yeah, rejection, monthly resistance. Couldn't break it. Couldn't break it. Let's look at gold as well, by the way. Sorry, the 10-year yield. Let's see what they're doing. Still weaker, huh? Hey Lorenzo, gold on the daily time frame does not have a bottom wick. Yeah, so let's see that. You're correct. You are correct. Easy ZZ, strong mentality always wins. Yeah. Yeah, we talk about psychology a lot. Of course, you know, we need to have a plan, right? The confidence also comes from the understanding of your strategy. So if you do not know what your strategy is all about, and you just do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, yeah, you know, it's usually not the best idea to start consistently being trading or being profitable. What I did in the beginning of my journey, I was like, I started out with the EMAs. I started out with the RSI and the EMA. And I was looking for an RSI divergence and the 50 and 200 EMA cross on 1 hour time frame. And that worked. That actually worked. But then, after 3 trades, or 4 trades in a loss in a row, like a losing streak, I said, oh wait, I think the strategy does not work. So let me try something new. And then, what did I do? I started trading trend lines. You know what I did? Started winning. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, my new strategy, trend line strategy. 3 or 4 losing trades. Or you know, it's not. You don't work with trend lines the market works horizontal. Okay. Okay. So, horizontal support and resistance. Started doing that. You could say that I've done that for 2 years straight. 2 years in a row. From strategy to strategy to time frame to time frame to pair to pair. Over and over again. And at some point, I was trading 3 different strategies simultaneously. I was trading 20 different pairs on 20 different time frames simultaneously. And then somebody told me, Lorenzo, do you actually track what you do? Do you have like a spreadsheet or something? It's like, no. Why, why should I? It's like, yeah, just do it. I said, okay. So I started writing down my spreadsheet. And then I saw this trend line, RSI, EMAs, horizontal support and resistance, supply and demand. And I had this whole list of strategies and time frames. And I couldn't even figure out what I was doing, even when I tracked it. So in that case, just focus on the strategy and get your data right. Just focus on that one layer, one strategy, and truly test it. And I'm not saying, a couple trades here and there. No, truly. If you have a bad month, don't blame the strategy for it. Don't tell yourself and convince yourself that the strategy sucks, because you might just have a bad month. All right, make sure you track it, you continue the process, and if you want to lower your risk, especially at the beginning. 95% of us here do not have any track records. Do not have any spreadsheet whatsoever. 95%, I can guarantee you. Guaranteed. You guys agree? So if you have a spreadsheet and you lose all the time, that's better than having nothing. That's better than having nothing. Why does nobody have a spreadsheet? Well, number one, they're inherently lazy. So they just don't want to get bothered with it. Number two, they don't want to accept, and this is the true reason, they don't want to take responsibility for their actions. And the moment you write something down, and the moment you see a bunch of losses on a spreadsheet, it's confrontational, and you get emotional from it. And because you don't want to confront yourself, you don't want to step out of your comfort zone, you're like, you know what, never mind, let's forget it never happened. And that forget it never happened in trading, game over. You can lie to other people, it's fine. It's actually not fine. But lying to yourself is even worse. It's the easiest thing to do. It's the worst thing to do. So stop lying to yourself and get back to reality. And let's make some money together. All right? Even if you lose. Even if you lose, we learn. We step up our game. We try to improve. We try to innovate. And we try to take things to the next level. Over time. So yeah, for now the dollar is indeed going, but you know, it's not really moving much. I think the volume is definitely slowing down now. So this the retracement was perfect for our trade there, but now we're chilling. Now we're chilling. Now we're slowing down a little bit. The 10-year yield starts to push up a little bit, slightly. We are going to see this 2-hour closure in 27 minutes. And we'll see if this is going to be a flip and a closure below. If it's closing below the 2406, bearish flip closure, dollar flips bullish, continues the process, and closes above the 103.9. Then there is a chance of like a continuation play, but for now, it seems that we're holding very. Once we took our sell here, so we had the consolidation, expansion, retracement from our fixed value low level, right? Our volume level. We broke the lows. We took the trade. We cashed out. Price is back up again. Dollar is looking stronger. Daily support. No confirmation. Less volume. Be more patient. No rush. I think that's the idea. So for now, let's sit it out until we get a better confirmation from gold. If we do break the lows here and we close, one more follow through, that will be good. Lorenzo, when is your next boxing fight? My next boxing fight is hopefully the end of the month. I have a lot of work to do now. I took a couple days off. I needed some rest. Mentally prepare myself a little bit. Making sure I'm not overtraining. Because overtraining is definitely a problem. You tend to get worse and worse and worse every session. And you don't know what's happening. So the best thing to do, chill out and relax a little bit. All right, we're flipping bearish, but yeah, I definitely want to see like a closure below it. If you want to take another trade today, third trade today. I do like this though. Jin says, I even have my spreadsheet for my strategy and steps I need to follow, and I even laminated. Maybe this is a little bit extreme, but I also keep adding things, so I need a new one. Amazing. Yeah, so we're working on a new spreadsheet from one of our guys in our group. They have been creating a new spreadsheet right here. I think we're gonna get it for you if you want to. We can share it with everyone. It should be released soon. It's like a Notion spreadsheet. I think you're gonna like it a lot. He put a lot of work in it. Anyways, I think you're gonna like it. So let's see. Do you use Excel or Notion? I'm using Excel right now, but I'm gonna go to Notion because I think that there's some cool stuff in the spreadsheet. It's also about simplicity, right? You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to make it too complicated for yourself. The fact that you have to fit in your spreadsheet and it takes longer than setting up your trade. It's usually a problem. But, you know, in this case, in Notion, it's just very easy to just do things the right way quickly as well. So Notion is awesome. So yeah, if you have Notion, fantastic. If you don't, then get it. And then we'll release it soon. Yeah, we're still holding up, you see? So gold is still holding. The dollar is still getting rejected from that level. It's not showing that we're there yet. And the 10-year yield is also not breaking these internal highs. So if you break these internal highs, dollar will break out close above the 103.9 and gold breaks and closes below the 2406. Then I think we have a third trade. This will induce too many guys to short now. That's my opinion. Hello, guys are confused how you got the fixed very low. Please explain. So you go to... Okay. So we use the volume profiles. If you're not familiar with LTA, then LTA concepts, the way we have developed it, then use this tool and download the ebook. You have this range. This is a swing high. Maybe on the higher time frame, it's just one candle, right? Or it's one weekly candle in this case. On the 1 hour time frame, it's a full range. So what you can do is you can draw it from the top of the range to the bottom or the side to the side. Not where you expand, but just the range itself. And then it shows you all the information in the range. And it shows you where the most volume has been traded. And in this case, in between the 24012 and the 24016, going up to 2418, you see these high volume nodes. If price steps into that and you get a reaction from it and you're at a swing high and you understand the structure and you are aware of what's happening in the market, you're aware of the dollar, you're aware of the yield, when the correlations are great, you're aware of the structure, then you can start looking at the internals and you can decide for yourself if it's worth it to take a trade from that level or to utilize that level as your resistance level in this case, and you know, using it as a confirmation tool. So that's how we get the 2412 and the 2416. At this particular moment on the lower time frames, we're still holding up. I'm not impressed yet. So long term, I expect gold might continue bullish. But for the current structure, it's the 5th wave, so I expect a pullback. I was thinking the same. I was thinking about a pullback, and then a bullish continuation at the 30 around August. So the reason why I'm looking at August is because of the fact that the supply and demand data gets released. And that's exactly what we want. We want that data, and I want to know exactly what happened. What did central banks do? What happened with the manufacturing, the supply? Okay, I'm trying to figure that out. And then based upon that, I developed a report. And that report shows exactly, you know, what central banks did. But in this case, let me see where we are. The retail sentiment, no. There we go. So the last data came out, and it came out with the following information. Central banks bought 31.9% more gold in Q4 and Q1, right? Or Q4 against Q1, sorry, my bad. We're gonna see now Q1 against Q2. It's always delayed. Investments, all right? So we're talking hedge funds, we're talking investment banks, 22% less. Technology, 2% less. Jewelry fabrication, 8% less, all right? The mine product, however, this is interesting. So in regards to the supply data, the mine production went down with 5%, okay? Which is huge, which is important, right? We're talking 50 tons of gold, right? 5% is a lot. So supply went down, demand went up. The fact that central banks are buying are always important. Why is this important? Well, central banks usually have a big impact on the gold price, especially for speculators, right? Institutions tend to follow central banks over time. So you will probably see more interest from investment, the investment section, next quarter in the next report. Why? Because central banks are buying or have bought a lot in Q1 of 2024. It's always a delayed response. That's the pattern that I could find in that information. Okay. So we talked about this previously as well. They currently hold around 17% of all the gold. And that's a lot. All right. 50% is in jewelry, is in physical gold. Is in like, you know, gold that's like, you know, commercialized gold, let's say. 17% of that is owned by central banks. So when it comes out, the next report comes out at the 31st of July. And I'm very curious to see how it responds, because usually you tend to see a big move. We can go back into the charts as well. This is a great example. I think I put it there. What exactly happened beforehand when that data came out, right? Data came out. We had a massive area of consolidation. We then manipulated the lows and we went up significantly. Okay? Significantly. Next data came out. We manipulated the lows. We went up significantly. So what tends to happen a lot after the data comes out, it tends to first manipulate the lows, takes whatever, all the liquidity, you know, drive price down first and then move up, especially if the sentiment is bullish. So that's why there's a chance, and in my opinion, I'm still looking at gold potentially driving down lower, at least until the end of the month. Who knows? For it to potentially then look for further continuation if the data comes out good. With a rate decrease or a rate cut, potentially September now, 70% chance, significantly higher chance that we're gonna decrease these interest rates, might be even better. So we're gonna find out, geez. Doesn't really matter if you're scalping or whatever, right? It doesn't matter. But if you are at critical high time frame structural levels, key levels, it might be worth of interest. Fabian says gold intelligence report has really made a huge step into finance for me. I have so much better fundamental understanding right now. Before it was only technical analysis. That's why we made it. That's why we made it. And it doesn't always mean we trade only bullish now, because we're bullish on gold. We only go for longs and that's it. No, but we're at least aware. We are aware, and it's all about, you know, the awareness. Correct? That's what I think is important. Anyways, gold is driving further. Dollar has difficulties breaking these highs. And if that's the case, then gold is not ready to come down yet. So that's why FOMO entry short below that break at that flip, detrimental. Would have not been that good, because the dollar didn't give us that clear confirmation. The beautiful thing about today, especially after the CPI, is that the correlation got restored. So dollar up, gold down in that manner. Also, the yield has a hard time. So it was pushing up. We might still push back up. Hopefully we do. And if that's the case, then we see gold breaking the lows. And if gold re-breaks the lows now, I think that it becomes much more worth taking a sell. You know, something like that. If you re-break the lows again. Because we did came down. If we now re-break the lows, then something has to happen here for that to happen. So the dollar needs to break and the yield might need to break up. And then we potentially see gold driving down. But that's the only way I would look for shorts now. And in regards to longs, you know, we're heading into that resistance now. We're heading into that top swing high. So I'm always a little bit cautious when we do. Because I don't like to trade into resistance. Especially not on the higher time frame. So if you look here, we're now kind of trading into that daily resistance right there, right? So that's where, you know, it's either shorts or nothing for me. Unless we pull back more. Then I will be looking for longs again. Hey mate, where the goals reports can be accessed right now at the moment. It's only for our VIP. So for the guys in our group, they get a full fundamental report once a month. An updated report once a month with the new data. Let me see the chat real quick. Let me do this. Lorenzo, sorry for your loss. Which loss, my friend? Ah, football loss. Okay. Yeah. No. You know, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big football guy. Come on. I'm not a big football guy in general, man. I watch football. I watch it when the Nationals play. I'm that guy. Okay. So, anyways. I'm not sure if some of you guys watched it, but yeah, it was not the best. Silly penalty. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. Okay, pushing. Pushing, pushing. Football's rigged, just like the markets. Well, that penalty was definitely not legit. We can talk about it later. Yeah, Holland is always the best second place team. Yeah, for some reason we are. It's actually reality. So you have to accept the reality. Okay, that's a major move. Dollar is rejected, yield rejected. So if that's the case, gold's gonna try to touch into our next level, which is the 2416. But this looks very strong. So any shorts here got people that went short right away, FOMO-ish. That's why we had that closure, fam. That's why we had that closure. If we wanted to take a third trade, we had to wait for that closure. And that closure didn't came here. So this looks very strong. Let's see how we close this 1 hour candle. If we close this bullish, then I don't see a reason for myself to take one more trade today. If you close at least, you know, above the fixed very low. Because you're just trading right into that resistance, right into these daily highs, which is, in my opinion, not where I would like to look for longs from. Okay. Guys, can I explain your previous trade? So the previous trade was the following. You can also go back a little bit. I'm not sure where exactly, in the middle of the stream. We had our key level set. We had our analysis set. You know, we waited for price to tap into this zone. We waited for it to break the lows. We swiped it from there to there. We took out our profits there. We saw it holding up. We decided to close a full position and not let it go back to break even. Price came back up. It tested it as support. It gave the intention to drop again, inducing guys to go short. It flipped bullish. All right. Yeah, let's see how we close this one, but it seems very strong. You can see clearly that the dollar has a very hard time with breaking through here. And if the dollar rolls over and it falls back to the daily support, then gold might just be continuing its momentum. But there is still one level, and that's a 2416. That's a tough level to break, but it seems very strong because it's an hourly expansion. It's a little bit of a break. We know that the data came out very bullish for gold, very bearish for the dollar, you would say, so at least 3%. So, you know, I would not be surprised if it just continued to drive up either, right? The reason why we were looking at shorts initially, because this was just a clear short example where initial traders that go long take profits, and that retracement is our trade. Because at that moment when they see price struggling, they were like, it's better to get out, take out my money. Price comes back, right? Or big players that are accumulating, taking profits there, price pulls back. And it reloads and it goes again. Like a second wave expansion. So it's looking very strong. And because we're heading into daily resistance now, the daily highs I will be careful with longing unless you entered before, of course. That's what I would say, at least for long setups. Which exchange are you using for Forex? I'm using Vantage. I only like to work with brokers that are at least 10 years old. Minimum. Because I would never put my money there. I would never put more than 100 grand on a broker that I don't know. I would not even put more than $50,000 on a broker that doesn't have track records. So yeah, it is crazy. It's a crazy move. It's crazy the expansion once again. Especially on futures as well. I think on futures what happened right now. We created that bottom wick on the 4 hour and we just went bullish. There we go. That's what we did. We had no bottom wick first. We created it and we flipped bullish and we're driving further. Okay. So what's the lesson for today with trading after the news? Patience wins. Patience wins. You guys have seen it once again. That being patient wins in this case as well here. Right, there were many instances where we could go short earlier, where you saw price struggling. We were like, should we go? Should we go? Especially there. We wanted to see that manipulation. And, you know, we don't have to be fearful of price coming down already and missing out on our position, because that trigger is exactly why we tend to lose a lot of money. So let price come up to our zone, let it give us the confirmation, and let reverse down, because that trigger that you know, and you know when you entered on the trigger, you know when you entered on the FOMO trigger, deep inside, you know. I don't have to explain you. That's the market fooling you. That's the market trying to fuck you over. Take your money from you and your families. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. Hourly closure. I think we did what we had to do today. I appreciate all of you guys. I think it's time to go, man. And come back tomorrow one more time. What do you think? I think so too. Thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a nice stream. Have a nice rest of your day. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Come back tomorrow. 7:45.